Welcome back, it's good to have you here. I hope you might join me for a little bit of crafting this week. Perhaps work on your own project as you're watching. There are a few projects this week that I would like to get started on actually, but top priority is to finish this baby sweater. It is almost done. I'm working on the second sleeve and it's time that I finish it because this baby could be here any day and I need the sweater to be done. Yeah, it's almost finished. I am a little bit worried because it is incredibly tiny. I might have knitted a little bit too tight, I'm not sure. But maybe that's just because my own baby is so big now. He's not even a baby anymore. So this just feels really, really tiny by comparison. But at least I know the length is okay because that's measured in centimeters. So yeah, I'm just using my little tiny needles, which are my absolute favorites. My little Chowgu 9cm needles. And then once this is done, we get to choose some buttons, which is really fun and exciting, and that's going to pull the whole thing together. This has been a really fun pattern to knit. It's my first petite knit pattern that I've ever done. And it looks like I will have plenty of yarn left. I just started this second ball. So it looks like I'll have plenty. I might make the hat as well, or maybe some little booties. But if there's still a bit of time, I might try and make a second thing as well. By the way, if you missed my last craft update video, this is a friend's baby, not ours. Turns out that any day now means today. I just saw a picture and it's the cutest thing ever. Anyway, we're mailing this out ASAP. So here it is, a little tiny wrapped up cute little sweater in a package. Decided to go for classic coconut shell buttons. Oh, isn't it adorable? Next project. So I have all of this yarn left from my stackable dragon toy project, and this is enough. Like, this was the recommended amount on the website. I used a pattern from the seller of this yarn, and they told me to buy about double the amount of yarn that I ended up using. So I have plenty here to make several other projects. So I went back onto the website to check if they had any other fun, like, children's projects with that yarn, and they did. Floris right now, his absolute favorite thing to do is take things out of baskets and then put them back in. And as he gets older, he gets more and more toys that consist of, smaller parts. So we need loads of baskets. So the project I found is for a really cute basket in the shape of a bear's head. I thought it would be really nice. It looks adorable, looks pretty quick to make. So that's what I'm gonna do. I needed to buy a base for it. One of these like basket/bag bases. Didn't feel like ordering it online, so I bought one in store. I'm gonna make it in a blue color, maybe use a little bit of this white for an accent, like on the ears maybe, or the nose. And it's gonna be really cute. I've never used one of these things before. This is faux leather, and it's gonna provide a nice and sturdy surface on the bottom. Let me go ahead and download the pattern and we can get started. So this actually looks like a really, really simple pattern. Okay, just checking if my hook actually goes through the hole here. Start anywhere by crocheting 1 double crochet. This is UK, so that's US single crochet in the first hole. Then 2 double crochets in the following hole. So that's 1, 2. Oh, by the way, if you missed my stackable dragon project, the yarn I'm using here is a chenille. It's the Go Handmade Happy Chunky Fine. This is the color Jeans, I think. Yeah, Jeans Blue. And it's a really nice chenille yarn that's sturdier than others. So it is not kind of like wound around a single thread in the middle. You normally don't want to do this with chenille yarn, but this is almost like a ribbon. So the chenille is on one side and it's kind of twisted up, which makes it a little bit annoying to work with, but chenille is always annoying to work with. And it does make it really strong. I haven't had it break on me once, that entire toy project. It does twist on itself, as you can see. But I've also learned while doing that project that that is something I need to accept and work through, because trying to unwind it as you go is going to take up way, 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 way too much time. And it doesn't really matter in the end result anyway. It looks a little bit nicer if you do unwind it, but again, the difference is not big enough to warrant the time it takes, for me at least. It can be a little bit difficult to see where your stitches are with this yarn. It gets easier as you get further into the project, and also just as you work with it more. So that is also just something that you have to kind of get through in the beginning when you first start a project with this. But it's a really nice yarn, all in all. Definitely better than your traditional chenilles, I would say. So there's a little little yarn review for you. The pattern I'm using here, by the way, for this teddy basket is free, so I will link it in the description box. I actually think I'm using too big of a hook here. I might switch after this round. Alrighty, smaller hook. I switched hooks again. I didn't like the way that bamboo felt on this yarn. So now it's just a matter of, whoops, doing a single crochet and a half double crochet. I think the pattern calls for a deep double crochet, but I couldn't really find what that is. So I'm just going to alternate between a single crochet and a half double crochet, round and round and round until I have the desired height. And then it's 3 rounds, I think 3 or 4 rounds of just single crochet. And then I can add on the bare elements of this. So far, really, really simple. face is done, and then for the back, the pattern calls for a pom-pom tail. But I personally don't think that this material is suitable to make a pom-pom out of, because it just comes apart into a bunch of microplastic, and I don't really want my child playing with that. So instead I made another ear. Like, I just used the exact same pattern as the ears, but instead of folding it like you normally take this, push it in to make an ear, but instead I'm just gonna leave it round, put in a bit of stuffing and use that for the tail. I think that's gonna be a bit of a more durable and safer option. It's done! Oh, isn't he just the cutest? And this was such a quick project to make. Like, I think you could do this in a single evening. It is absolutely adorable. I feel like I could have maybe positioned the ears upward a bit more. It looks a bit like monkey ears, but whatever, he's cute. And I think we're gonna get a lot of use out of this. Great use of that scrap yarn. Really happy with this. I like that it has a sturdier base. I feel like it's gonna be more durable this way. I just realized I never show you my finished Minto sweater. Ta-da! Here it is! I finished it a few weeks ago. Haven't actually been able to wear it. Tried to wear it once, almost had a heat stroke. This is a winter garment for sure. But isn't it just beautiful? Oh, I love it so much. It widened up a lot during blocking. The cables were a lot tighter as I was knitting, you know, as it goes with cables. So it does still have that oversized look a little bit that it's supposed to have. This is a very oversized pattern, and I sized down quite dramatically because I like my sweaters on the more fitted side. So even though this is definitely not fitted, I didn't want it to be as big as it's supposed to be. But I'm glad that it does still have the look that it's intended for, because that is the look I fell for initially when I decided to make this. So let me put it on and show you what it looks like on me. There we go. I normally wouldn't wear this with a skirt probably, but you can kind of see the fits. I feel like this is the perfect size for a sweater like this. Just slightly relaxed. There's room in here. I can easily wear a shirt underneath, layer up in this. I love the movement of it. And overall, I'm just absolutely thrilled with this sweater. Isn't this just the most beautiful pattern ever? And this was so much fun to knit. I can definitely see myself going back to this pattern and making this again in a different color, different yarn maybe, because I absolutely adore it. It is so cute. There are a few new techniques in here for me. Obviously these are my first cables, so I learned cable knitting through this pattern. This is my first folded collar, and that is the one thing I'm not 100% happy with. I feel like my collar is kind of veering off to one side over here. I should have kind of pinned or tacked the collar down before I started incorporate, like kind of sewing it down, I guess, because it's not evenly distributed. But I mean, it's not super noticeable. I might go back and redo it at some point if I feel up to it. But for now, just overall very, very happy with it. I made sure the sleeves were long enough. I made sure the whole thing was long enough so that we wouldn't have another one of these. And this is actually what I want to focus on next. Since I was able to completely finish that bear basket that I just made, I probably won't be able to do a lot for this this week, but I want to start it so that I can keep chipping away at it between this video and the next crafting update. So this is my wrap cardigan. Let me take off the sweater because it's already way too hot. I didn't size this correctly, was the sad conclusion I had to come to when I finished this, because it is just, I don't know, I've pulled it out several times, excited to wear it. It went great with my outfit, but every time I put it on, it's just not right. Let me show you. And it's such a shame because right now I find myself not wanting to wear it, but it's so beautiful. It's just too small. I need to make this larger. Secondly, it's too short. This is supposed to be a cropped cardigan, which it's gonna be cropped, but this is too cropped. I mean, it looks good with this dress, but it only looks good with dresses. I feel like if it was maybe 5 centimeters longer, it would be much more versatile. Third, I don't really like this, how this is kind of popping out underneath. Not sure how I'm gonna fix that, but we'll see. And yeah, mostly it just needs to be a little bit wider and a little bit longer. So what I'm gonna have to do is undo the Italian bind off on the bottom here, which I have never done. I don't know how to do that. Well, first actually, I'm gonna have to take off the double knitted band on the side. This is gonna be a huge project, but I'm gonna have to remove the double knitted band, then remove the Italian bind off, remove all of the ribbing, and basically continue from there. So I'm gonna just go back to the increases on the stockinette part of it, increase for a little bit longer, which will make it both wider and longer, and then redo the ribbing, redo the button band. Or I guess the double knitted band, there's no buttons. Also need to remove these ties, but I think I can just reuse those, sew them back on again. So much work lost, but I cannot accept that this is just an unwearable cardigan, because I already put in too much work for that, and I don't want it to just sit on the bottom of my closet. So we're gonna do it. This is gonna be hard to frog, because it's held with mohair, and mohair doesn't like frogging. So yeah, we'll see. Let's just do it, and we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. This is gonna take a while. I'm making my way around the double knitted band. I have a little, where did I put it here? Knitting needle to break up the mohair clumps whenever they occur. So far so good. I have one continuous ball of yarn that's forming up. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep chipping away at this, first frogging and then casting it back on, lengthening the whole thing, and I will check back in next time we see each other. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed joining me in my crafting adventures this week. I hope you have an absolutely lovely weekend ahead of you, and I will see you again next week.